gonna please
I don't know
apologize.
what the question is.
A.
Car, A, for
Oh,
A.
A, okay, yeah, it could be accountability or accounting.
And R, the next one is R, it isn't okay, so all car, please read this carefully, find time to read it, because this is what we are all judged by. This is all what attorneys go after, if we don't do this, we don't do this, we don't do that, and do you know what happens if we are accused of breach of fiduciary duties? We may lose license, we may lose commissions, we may lose they may be criminal charges, civil charges, it's a lot of things can happen, so please be very careful with that. So this is one thing I wanted to tell you, and then another thing is that fiduciary confidentiality is fiduciary duty. It's very important for you to know. The life of confidentiality never expires. Do you understand that? So remember, confidentiality is a part of your fiduciary duties. It never expires. The listing may expire, the buyer broker agreement may expire, the home may be taken off the market. Nothing stays, but confidentiality does not expire.
So when we're ticked off because they canceled our listing, we can't go talking about all those other secrets we know about.
About people
Right.
in the house, about the house. If somebody let me ask you this, if somebody calls you and said, another agent calls you and said, listen, I noticed that your listing expired. And as I noticed there's so many days the listing was on the market. What's going on? Please tell me. What would you say?
No names and dates.
No names? What is your name again, please?
Me?
Yes, you.
Desiree,
Desiree, could you please tell me what would you answer to that agent?
can you repeat the question one more time?
You were not listening, that's why I
I
called
wasn't
you,
listening,
see?
but I was like,
You were thinking about your Russian boyfriend, all right.
no.
No, okay, all right.
It's not Russian.
Oh, he's not Russian, oh,
Only one.
shoot, I made a mistake.
Oh, we have more time though. She's freer, yeah.
Oh, she's free of charge, you're right, okay, very good. So the question is, if another agent calls you and says, I noticed that your listing expired, I noticed it's been on the market for so many days, what's the reason? Tell me, because I want to go after them. What would you say?
I honestly don't know.
Okay, anyone knows? That's all right, that's good. We are in class, we can say that. Good luck. I love it, I love it. God bless.
It's based on what you said before, if another agent calls you and totally asks you a question like, did you get any offers on it? Then
It's a different situation.
that is a difference.
It is, yeah. So the listing is off the market. So somebody calls you after the listing expired. That's what we're talking about. So what happens if somebody calls you asking about that listing? And the answer will be very simple. Everything is on the MLS, the description of the property, everything of the days it was not sold, it expired. That's all I can tell you. So the less you talk in real estate, the better off you are. Less talking, less writing, and if you do write, very short, very get to the point, because our language may not be the right way we put things, and the attorneys will go after that very easily.
Somebody advised me wisely one time, don't use a lot of adjectives.
So make it very simple, just the facts. Remember, when you write, don't pull your heart or pour your heart out. Don't do that. I used to do that. All my emotions and somebody, being with attorneys, so many attorneys for so many years, like I told you last time, start thinking as attorney said, don't do that. Go to the facts. That's what we're looking for. Because more you write, more you talk, you involve yourself more and more and more, and it's not good. All right, very good.
You take the whole thing.
Yeah, okay, very good. So, fiduciary, that's, you have that all, fiduciary duty survives expiration. So please, it's a good example here, you have this also, and the damages, we already talked about the damages. The damages may be rescission, loss of commission, loss of license, sanction, and so on and so forth. So this is all we discussed. Okay, very good. Then the agency law tells us, now we get to the real business, what we're dealing with. I mean, we're also dealing with all that, but occasionally. But now I want to talk about what we're dealing every day. So every day we start with any relationship, hopefully the right way we do it, we start with which document. So the very first document, when we sit with the client, potential client, what do? We pull what?
Yeah.
Agency disclosure about agency relationship, okay? We know all that. The question, let's pull it. Do you have it? Do you have agency? Okay, so let's work with this for a second. Okay, so
No, I don't think I know.
if you don't have it, then maybe you will share with Miriam.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
share with Miriam, okay? All right, so let's stop, guys, let's stop. So can someone give it to Joseph, right?
Yeah, just-
Joseph, can someone share with Joseph agent? Oh, she's making coffee, okay. Okay, so once she's doing that, let me ask you a question. Why do we require, listen to the question, that's what the attorney asked. Why do we require to pull this form first? Why do we insist on, or we are taught, let's say, better word. Why are we taught to start with this form? Why do we need that form to start first? Very simple answer. Anyone? Nikki, do you know why?
No, I'm still looking for my form.
Oh, you're looking for your form, looking for it. No, all right, okay. Anyone? What do you think? G,
To clarify the date.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Table of contents. To
You know?
clarify our duty.
Clarify our duty, okay, that's part of it. Do you know why?
I would have to say something myself. yeah,
Like,
uh,
okay, all right, that's part of it.
Describe what you're,
Okay,
Going
so
forward.
the question is again, now that everybody has their phone except for Joseph, poor guy. One guy, how we treat him, huh? One guy here with us. Thank you so much, Dorothy, thanks a lot. All right, so everybody please focus on me. So again, the question is, why do we pull this form first? Why? And the answer is, and the winner is
Joseph.
Joseph, no, he was no, you guys, no. So the answer is, so the question is, I'm your client, and you'd say, we start with this paper, with Miss Bertha, we start with this paper disclosure, and they say, I don't want to sign anything. I don't want to sign anything because one of the things we do need to ask buyers to sign, even if we don't have the agreement with buyer broker agreement with buyers, for example, we do ask to sign this form. First thing we do ask that. And the buyer, I'm a buyer, and I say, I don't want to do it. Why should I sign anything? Well, if you don't want to work with me, I'll go to someone else. And what would you do? You need to be able to explain to the person the value of the document. Otherwise, if you cannot explain, then there is no luck, I guess. So the answer to this question is very simple. It's required by law, right? How do we know that? That's my next question. It says right here, please circle it or highlight it. It says here as required by the civil code. Please do that because this is very important. If attorney asks you, you will say it's required by law. The first thing we do is required by law. But how do we know? How do we know that it's the first thing we do? And that's why I gave you this compliance, the law compliance chart. It's CAR compliance chart. You have that. So the law of agency requires of us to perform 3 steps. Step number 1, disclose. Disclose types of agency that the client might have with you as an agent. You understand that? What other types of agency we have? What are they? Do you know that?
Buyer and.
Buyer's agent, seller's agent,
And
and dual agency, it's right here. So you explain to that person why. So the next step, you disclose all this. The next step, according to this chart, it's election. Do you see this chart? It says election. That's the next step we need to do. We need, and who needs to elect what type of agent you will be for your client? The agent. The agent elects what type of agent he or she will be for the client. And that step is called election. Remember that at this point, when you work on this form with your client, you will tell, I'm going to be your buyer's agent, your seller's or dual agent. That's your duty to open your mouth and say that. Because they will not know. We think they know because we know, right? We always think that people around us know, but no, that's what the law requires. So this is what you do, okay? Now, and the third step, the final step, is very important step. It's called confirmation, okay? So we already have disclosure, election, and confirmation. Where do we confirm what type of agency this particular client will have with us? Where do we confirm that? Listing agreement and
RPA.
RPA. So here, right, on this page, we confirm. Now, what happens if you, this listing agent, gets this offer without the name of the agent? What happens? There is no confirmation. I have heard agents telling me it's okay to leave something blank. And I am telling them it's not okay because this is a legal document. We are not attorneys. We cannot decide for the law. People who created documents, who are trained for that, we cannot decide what is good, what is not, what is okay to leave or not. If they put it here in the contract, cover your butt, fill out everything what they require. Do you understand that? Because the sloppy work will lead to trouble. Sloppy documentation will lead to trouble. So if you do not have this, and you say to yourself as a listing agent, oh, it's okay, I'm more interested in dollar sign, how much. Well, it's not the right way to handle this business, okay? So just 1 second. So before you continue, before you see, you notice this, the next step you do, what is it? What is the next step you do if this is missing? You're the listing agent, you do not call. You eliminate calls as much as you can. Call will not help you in the court of law. What will help you is email, the written proof of what you have done. Less call, less talk over the phone. When it comes to the contracts, written communication is number one. Okay, is number one. You need to think about how you will prove that you have done the right thing. Oh, I called Nikki and I talked to Nikki, and Nikki said, I don't recall you were talking to me about that. You talked to me about lunch, you talked to me about this, but I don't see. You cannot prove because you have another person saying, no, she never talked to me like that, about that. So what you do next, and the next step you do, you send the request to provide you with a correction immediately, because third step is confirmation. Now you understand that this word is not just for beauty of it to be there, it's a legal requirement. Now you understand that, and you ask for confirmation. And let's say that agent on the other side sends you an addendum. Is this good enough? But
No, it's not, because it's not complete.
it's not good enough. Addendum will not work in this situation. What will work?
A form that's called confirmation of agency relationships.
I love you.
So-
What can I say? What can I say? So the right form, guys, the right form is another point that you need to make sure you're using the right form. You need to treat your TCs, you need to make sure that you're using the right form. Agency confirmation is like a counter offer. That's
Well, that actually was my question, do we create a counter?
no,
offer
no, agency
including-
confirmation for
I
this,
know, but you attach the agency confirmation to that, correct?
they will have to send it to you, but
Okay.
it works as a counter offer to this mistake, to counter this.
That was my question.
Yeah, also, and I will teach that, when you get, that's another one, just 1 second, Margaret. When you get this document from another company, what you do, you confirm going to the DRE website that this is the legal entity that is sending you this. I do it all the time, and that's part of my list as well that I created for this
Yeah,
company.
I saw that.
So, yeah, you saw that, right? So we need to start doing that. We need to confirm. Let's say that, believe me, guys, your TCs need to know that as well. So believe me, if you see the company name here, which is not on the DRE website, you need to question, and that's what you do. You need to question, that's your due diligence, that's what they're looking for. Because the only time you will know the results of your poor work is almost at the closing, when the title company starts sending you documentation, who is this, who is that, and you're at the end. This beautiful end when you're counting your dollars and you cannot close it. Because of this legal issue, you will not be able to close, you will be sued for sure, and of course the broker too, so be careful.
So what I have, and hopefully that's changed, but for the longest time, what I was having problems with were the agents, the names would go in there. But they would never check mark the election. And I always have those check marked for blank, and that pissed me off because that's great that you got the names in there, but who are they representing?
Well, do you know why it was like that?
What?
And I have mixed feelings about why it was like that. If you fill out a cover sheet in the car
Yeah.
and you establish it, those do not go through to, they are not propagated.
They don't
So the reason that it doesn't autofill is so that you actually have to click on those
Well,
when
that's
you're
my
writing
point,
the
but
offer.
people, agents don't, and that,
So, but people do fill out the cover sheet correctly and the check boxes are there, but they're not propagated. So that is annoying.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's good or bad.
So the second part of the listing of the purchase agreement, that second, I think it's page 15 or 16, where we have about agents, remember that square stuff, it needs to be filled out as well. So what the bottom line, what I'm trying to tell you guys, do not think that it's okay. Always know when it's not okay. You need to know that, and you need to make this extra step to make it right. It doesn't really matter for the attorney who is trying to really nail you, whether you have done 1 transaction or 100 or 200 transaction closed, it doesn't matter. Their main goal is to prove that you breach your fiduciary duty and that you owe money. That's the best scenario. Of course, not talking about civil and criminal sanctions. So, but again, it's very easy to fall into something if you don't know. That's why I am so for that. You need to know what you're doing. Yes.
and going back where you're saying the communication should be in email, absolutely. And I always try to stress that too. The other thing is that what I love about paperless pipeline, it is not just a place to put your documents. Everything you write and send out through the email and notes will stay as a communication log in that transaction in paperless pipeline, makes your life so much simpler. So, just saying. And I know people have other ways, and as far as, a whole text string, fine, print it out, but upload it in a PDF.
Okay.
pipeline.
Very good.
I have another quick question. So
Sure.
say you have an open house
Mhm.
and buyers are coming in and you say, would you like to have the disclosures on this house? I mean, does that require agency because you're sending them some documents about the house?
I don't think so personally, but.
Well, agency, everyone will be sending you agency, their agency, everyone. Is it required? No.
No, that wasn't her question. Her question was, she's talking to people at an open house. They haven't told her they have an agent, they just asked her for disclosures. If she gets their information and sends disclosures, by conduct, she just acted like an agent, right?
No, no,
That's
not at all.
information on.
Yes,
All right,
yeah. You're not representing anyone, every time you provide information, that's all you do, right? Right, very clear.
I usually make them understand, if you have an agent, please have your agent ask me for that, or they can download it, yeah.
Oh, and if don't
Keeps it
have
clear.
agents or don't wanna tell you they have agents.
Right.
But they wanna see more, so.
I don't know if that might be a problem, because you're not, they may say you're not acting in the best interest of your client, disclosing, giving
Well, those are
disclosure.
the disclosures that go with the transaction, I see no, I see.
It's no harm done,
Yeah,
right? It's no harm done
just a
to,
lot of times we have a link that they could download it
Yeah,
themselves on
yeah,
MLS, so it's
yeah.
kind of out there as a marketing.
yeah, I would not, if I were you, again, I don't have control over you, but my advice to you, do not do that. That's my advice. If somebody asks you for disclosures, give them disclosures with any, it's not your place to explain to them, you're not their agent, don't go there.
Well, it's a good way to find out if they have an agent
Well, if you have a different,
though.
if you have a different goal, then handle it differently, but not through, that's what I would do. I would not do it this way. It's very risky for you. Because
Well,
you,
I'll happily give it to them, but it does create a conversation between me and somebody else's principal if I'm not careful.
well, if you want to have a list, not a list, but some kind of disclaimer that everyone who comes through the open house, you do not represent them, you can do that. This disclaimer can be on the desk saying, yes, I will give you the disclosures, but if you have questions, go to your, that's a good way to handle. Do you
We don't want
understand?
them to go somewhere.
No, we don't, we don't send them away.
Well, I don't know.
It's
what
just a
to tell
good
you.
litmus test to find out if they are working with somebody or not.
Okay, so let's take it the next step then, so they don't have an agent. Should you be sending them this agency before you
Yeah,
send them the
yeah.
disclosure and say, okay, I would like to be your buyer's agent?
Yeah,
Or I am gonna represent you as your buyer's agent, but it's the law that you
Yeah,
sign this
yeah,
agency before I send
That's
you
what
the
I would do.
disclosure.
if you have further questions about, if you want to talk to me about the disclosures or a house or this, then I will be representing you. And in this case, we need to sign the agency and buy a broker agreement. If you can push that, that will be great.
So, okay, let me understand this. So if you're just sending them disclosures, we don't need to do anything.
No,
If they have additional questions, then they start calling and asking questions, and then
Or if
at
they
that
make it
point,
Clear that they don't have an agent.
that point. you
yes,
make
so it's
sure-
it's very simple here. If they need questions, answers to their questions, if they need more involvement on your part, then you need to explain to them, either become my client, legally I can help you, or you need to, to go to your agent. If you don't have an agent, your best bet will be to work with me. So you can address it differently, you can present it differently, but do not refuse disclosures, absolutely not. All right, so please think what's the best way to handle that for you and to get information you need and be in good hands of the law. All right, next question. So we are still talking about this form. So what's the purpose of this form? Now we know why. Now what's the purpose? Desiree, can you tell me please, what's the purpose of this form, if you know? Guys, if you don't want me to ask you questions, please tell me, I have a weak heart. Don't ask me questions.
I'm not afraid, I'm just,
All right.
if I don't have the answer, I would just say. it.
Okay, please do so. I'm happy to
Oh,
hear
the
that.
disclosures?
Yeah, what's the purpose of this disclosure, the agency? That's a good exercise for those who are not sure what to say. That's a very good exercise. So while Desiree is thinking, what do you think, Pauline? What do you think? Tell me, please.
She doesn't care because she's not. an agent.
She may be worth 10 agents.
Oh,
That's why I asked her. She is worth my question.
But I have never really said to somebody, this is required by law.
Now you need to do that.
Yeah, I've never said that.
All right, of course, now you need to do that. And the explanation you are telling, that's what the attorney will ask you, how did you explain this form? The judge will ask you, how did you explain this? And you will say, I never said it's required by law. So why, what, why, how? So the next question, what's the purpose of this disclosure? Very quickly, ladies.
To define our
Define
roles, to
relationships.
define
Define
our
our
roles,
roles.
define our roles, and one of the things I say is, I am here, let me tell you what fiduciary means, because this is important, and the whole second page is all the legal code on what that actually means. But to me, between me and you, I have to tell you things honestly, whether it's good news or bad news, and you can't shoot the messenger, and when you sign here, that means you can't shoot me.
So,
But, you know, I do explain what it means to be a seller's agent, what it means to be a buyer's agent, and
Good
what
for
it means
you.
to be a
Good for
dual
you.
agent. But it means I must tell you.
that's good for you. All right, what is not the purpose of this document? What is not the purpose of this?
It's not a
document?
buyer broker agreement.
Yeah, it's not,
It's not a buyer broker agreement.
No.
All right, what else? What else?
what is it not? It's not any kind of.
It's very important to understand that. It's very
It's
important.
just to share the relationship.
I'm
right?
sorry?
It's just to show that you're sharing a relationship.
Types of relationship you may have with the agent. So the answer to my question, what is not the purpose of this?
Dual agency.
The purpose, the not purpose is to determine here on this document, what type of agent you will be for
That's
that
right.
person.
That's right.
Do you understand?
That's right.
Right?
Right.
So you need to
You're
understand that.
not electing.
That is not where you determine what type of this is a story. You can look at it as a story about the types of agency relationship you can have with these people, but that's about it.
But there's no check
Step
boxes in
one.
front of them.
All right, now the second page, you just mentioned already, and you're absolutely right. The second page is very important. It's slow. It's slow here, but it's why it's also very important. No one ever talks about this to their clients. No one. Agents do not talk about that. Just simply ignore it. But you shouldn't, because it gives the client, you need to tell them, this page tells you the meaning of the words that you will be using. Who is agent? What's listing agent? What you don't even need to explain that. You don't really, you just need to point to the right page because people can read. All right, that's how you cut down on time. But this is very important. Now, one question I have for you, ladies and gentlemen, here. What if, and I already talked about it, what if the client does not want to sign it? What would you do? What's the process? What's required by law if the client does not want to sign
I
it?
put a little note in it and say client, the
Okay,
client,
so
customer
let's take a look at this page, the second page, and this is 2079.15. 2079.15. Okay, you see that? So let's read it. It says, in any circumstances in which the seller or buyer refuses to sign an acknowledgement of receipt pursuant to the law, the agent shall set forth, sign and date a written declaration of the facts of the refusal. Okay? Okay,
So they can refuse it.
yes,
as long
you can
as it's
refuse it.
documented why.
Yes, and you can move forward, but you need to have to sign the declaration of the facts. Now you know that, right? All right,
I'm sorry,
very good.
I didn't hear the answer.
They can refuse it, but you need to
Oh,
document.
just document.
Yeah, yeah.
Little louder, Dr. Sahib.
And then the last thing that I would like to talk to you about is
Right.
it possible to change?
Put here, so with the.
I put it here and you write it down.
I'm sorry,
To document that, you
Document.
can write it here, seller, or review.
I would not do it here.
Oh, you
It should,
would?
no, it says right here, you need to make a declaration. The format of declaration must be used the right format with the dates and time, whatever the format is, I would not do it here. You can do it for yourself as a note, but that's about it.
So it
What form?
declaration, and I'm sending it to that person, or I'm putting it in my file.
So, yeah, you need to get the signature and this, so the declaration form varies. So I've never worked with one, I never had this before.
Yeah.
I do have an old sample I got from an attorney in my files at home, at my office, home office. But I don't remember, I haven't used it.
There's
So-
one in the car forms under letters.
No.
Yeah,
We can look into
and,
that.
and there is one, there is
Very
something there
good,
about
very
it.
good, very good. And then, so we can, yeah, we can get that form so they will have it, that's no problem. All right,
And then, sorry, like Margaret said, you send it to
yes,
the potential client as
Yeah.
well?
you need to get his signature and make sure that you document that.
No, but if he doesn't, they don't wanna sign, you send them the document.
And they don't want to
declaration saying-
sign, yeah,
I'll sign it. Yeah.
that's it, that's all you can do, right? You cannot make people do
All
it.
I need to say is, okay, then I guess I can't work with you.
Right.
Yeah, the
This
better
is
not to work
required
with
by
the
law.
person, yeah,
You-
yeah, I was.
It's not committing you to anything, I mean, that's what I always tell people, you know, this doesn't commit you to anything. It's
Exactly.
disclosing the facts and the law. So
Exactly.
this is how agency work.
If you want me to represent you, we need that. If you want to have the best agent in the world representing you, we need that. If you want to have results, you need that. You need to do that. You can work with anyone, but you need me, because I'm the only one.
And if the other guy doesn't have you sign that, I wouldn't work with him.
It's very difficult to let go, but if you can see such a resistance from the beginning,
Yeah, you're in trouble.
you are in trouble already.
So you might as well now.
Yeah, yeah, I hope you agree. I hope you agree. So is it possible,
Linda.
yeah, is it possible to change agency in the middle of transaction, yes or no?
So what? So
Is
that-
it possible to change agency?
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
Go to door.
Okay, and what you do, you provide that person with a new agency form, that's all you need. Okay, very good. I think
Wait a minute. What did you just say?
I said
So-
new agency form to create a new agency. So blank and agency go through all this again. That's
Wait a
all.
minute, why would I have to go through all this again? So wait a minute, you're saying, so I take a listing, they sign this, you know, that's great. Then I end up with my buyer coming in. Oh, so the difference is.
The agent is the difference. Who
Right,
The
so-
buyer works with.
Right, so that form has to be acknowledged by the
Yes,
seller.
yes. All right,
That's-
and then what constitutes the dual agency, that the last piece, this is what I will say, the dual agency where both agents work on the same brokerage, right? So everybody knows that, that constitutes dual agency. Both agents work under the same brokerage. Can the broker change the agent? Let's say something is going on, can the broker change the agent? What do you think, just? Let's say that I am not good with
Z.
Z.
Like people.
Z. Please don't do that. It's shocking to it's real, don't do that again today.
Sorry.
Z,
Sorry.
right? So let's say Z doesn't work with me well. I'm her agent, but we have a dual agency. So I go to Margaret and I say, I don't know, we just do not click. What should I do? Should I just let her go if she wants to leave this company? And Margaret said, no, I will not let her go that easily.
She can put it.
I
in
will
there.
offer to work with another agent. She goes to her best agent and say, well, Joseph, why don't you work with Z and see what happens? And then she talks to Z and says, Z, listen, things happen in life, right? People may like each other, may dislike each other, may hate each other, but world is going on, life is going on. I really think you should try one more agent in my company, and he is the best. It doesn't say that others are bad, but in your situation, I think Joseph will be the best. Why don't we try it? What do you think, Z? Would you be interested in that? And Z says, no, I don't want to stay with your company. And then you say, and then Margaret says, listen, why do you look for trouble? You don't need trouble because you cannot just by yourself decide according to the listing agreement. You cannot just say, I'm out. It's dual decision. It's my decision and your decision. please, let's not get us into trouble. We want to help you sell your home and we will do it with flying colors. Let's try it. And she says, all right, if I will get into trouble, I will give it another try. So you see, that's how you explain to people. You don't confront, you explain. And the only way you can explain effectively when you know what you're talking about, right? All right, very good. Thank you, Z. It's been a pleasure working with you. All right, so that's what I wanted to tell you. Agency law summary. That's I don't think you have this down, maybe you do. Yes, you do. Agency law summary, excellent document from CAR for you to give to your clients and tell them what this agency requires, what, why, when, who gets it, and things like that. So I gave you a lot of tools today to go over, to put in your own order, to work with that and prepare for your clients to, to work on them as well. All right?
So you're suggesting that in our listing presentation, you could have this agency law summary chart to talk about,
Not in the listing presentation, I suggest to use code of ethics. That's what I suggest
okay.
to use. I also suggest NAR, how you call it? How, the one that you put here, how do you call it?
Hello? Michael.
No.
PRE.
No, what you have right now?
I have a name, name that.
Name tag, okay. Car has something similar. You can request
Badge or a-
badge, thank you. What I will do without you today? Badge, NAR has badge with your name. I suggest to do that, to pull that badge. And also I'm going to have the listing presentation, totally different way of doing listing presentations because I have my own, I've been very successful with for sale by owner, that was my niche. And I will give it all my secrets to you, so, but for now, NAR has that badge, very impressive.
So when you say now has a badge, a physical
I'm
badge we buy?
confused.
No,
Oh,
they have you print your name and they give you the print of
right,
your.
there's.
So it's not really physical unless you want to make it physical, but you can show on paper that it's very nice actually. And also that you're a realtor, not everyone is a realtor. So so it's a lot of different things the thing is differentiator. When you come in, they need to feel, everyone you talk about, they need to feel that you are different. Once they feel you're different, they will listen to you, and I will teach. Yeah.
No interest.
It is-
But again, this agency summary, I think you suggested that,
When you-
clients,
yeah.
you're saying
When
not
you-
with a listing presentation, but with a listing document.
With a listing
or with
document
a
as a resource, because
Purchase document.
exactly.
Okay.
You don't need to give them the physical unless you want to, but you can give them the link. The key thing here is to do your job and to prove it, like I keep saying. If you can prove to attorney that you have done that, you give them enough information that they make intelligent decisions, that will be very good for you, very good for all of us. We can really succeed, all right? And we will be very safe. It's not it's not that you even have shown this form, but the better off you will be if you add this piece of giving them information about this form and what's required by law. You don't need to talk too much, actually.
I wrote down a sentence I like. It says, give them enough information so they can make informed decisions.
Informative decision about every step, and that's your role. Yeah, explain and counsel, so don't forget it. All right, so we covered quite a lot, guys, are you bored? No, no one is bored?
No.
Sure, all right, good, it's a lot of information, I totally appreciate your time. Any questions now, please, any questions? Well, at least one question should be,
Oh.
at least one.
Michael's one.
Yeah, so for the listing presentation,
Joseph.
what forms do you require to have again?
No, for the listing, you don't
You
report.
don't need,
Well, you
just
said
know,
that- she said the code of ethics would be.
Code of ethics
it
will
would
be
be good to kind of,
Second, you said this NAR badge.
not page,
which I never did that, I never.
code of ethics.
I use it all the time.
Do you? Yeah.
It's the one with the R that says realtor, and I have it in DocuSign, I have it on my, all over the place.
And then another thing that I will suggest we do, and I will send to you, I will put together the mission statement. You do have a mission statement, of course. I will send you my version. I think we can add that. It will be very powerful and you can take it with you. So I'll send it to you, my mission statement, my vision
And the
of this
mission
company.
statement,
Mission statement will be very powerful. So you need to differentiate yourself from the rest. You're a different one. And here is why. You need me, only me, and here is why. And I don't care how many agents you interview. I don't really care. You need me, and here is why. So that's what that kind of stress you give to them. And they will listen. People listen because they want the best. Do you want the best for yourself? Do you want the really best? Then you need to listen to me. That's how I work. All right, any other question? Desiree, any question that might, any suggestions? Tell me about this course, the class. Tell me your, if you will have to talk to someone about it, describe what you.
Yeah, that's what I wanna ask. I wanna ask, okay, what one or two things did you get out of this course and how do you feel about what you learned? So,
Waiting that agency form. Okay,
okay. What about it?
I need to do that.
I mean, that's required.
Yeah, I know, it's just, you know,
Okay.
I like
Do
to
you feel
feel
better about it? I mean,
Yeah, I
are you
feel better.
Stronger about it, that's my point.
Let's ask
Just making you
everyone.
more confident.
Let's ask everyone, we have a couple of seconds, the truth, no feelings, no bad feelings. I want to do the best for you and I will do the best for you, but I need to know your feedback as well, that will help. So tell me about this.
I
course.
like the part of the code of ethics, printing it out, keeping it on your desk or carrying it with you,
Okay,
maybe.
all right, so you like that.
Review it
What about
from
other portions of the training? Do you like the flow? Do you like the explanation? Was it clear?
Yeah,
It
yeah, it
was-
was.
Do you feel different right now as far as this document goes?
Yeah, yeah.
You
Better.
feel better and stronger,
Yeah,
that you can really attempt it once you learn more.
exactly.
Thank
yeah.
you. All right, what you,
Yes, I'm gonna agree. I think that taking the time to sit down and go through some of these documents are really great coverage for our licenses.
Yeah.
I think you did a great job of keeping it simple too.
thank you very much. And Pauline,
And understanding how we need to really watch how we reply to different people we get on the phone. It's really important because we can put ourselves in a pitfall if we say too much.
so now you understand the difference between lead, prospect, client, customer versus client. Now you will be more careful, not you personally, probably don't, but other ones, right? Okay, Nikki, what about you? Oh, you already told us, right?
Yes, but I do have a comment. I mean, if they could have been more organized, the papers, because we were all shuffling around looking for whatever you're talking about.
Okay, all right.
So maybe order some type of order.
Okay, all right. I will keep this in mind. Okay, thank you, yes. You need to go. All right, Margaret, what have you learned? Let's finish it and we will all go.
What did I learn new?
You made a lot of notes, and that's a good student does.
I didn't learn a lot new, let me look. I'll look if I make notes.
Okay, are you doing what you knew? Are you?
Yeah, I mean, I do that.
Then you're excellent.
So the question is always been at what point when you're working with, when you're talking to someone, at what point do you actually do this? And so, when it's a potential buyer, so that more is. a
The
little
moment you
more
start
clear.
working, the
Yes,
moment you
yes.
start working with that person, you
As
give
soon
them
as
agency.
practically possible.
As soon as, and this chart
Soon
will tell
as
you this.
practical.
Okay, Desiree, please. I like
So
that.
I'm hoping to meet up with this younger couple, they're two buyers, they're gonna be first time buyers and stuff, I'm just trying to nail down the time with them. But would I have them sign that when I sit down and discuss?
Please do. It doesn't hurt and it's required. Did I answer your question? You asked me at the beginning about agency. I think you asked me a question, remember?
Well, I mean, the dual agency thing was, no, I don't remember if I asked.
You don't remember?
I mean, I've taught agency, so I
We were
I mean-
talking, but we were talking about how much can you disclose to other agents that are questioning?
well, it is our duty to disclose. I mean, she's absolutely right. It actually says it in the listing agreement that we need to do that, but
Thinking that.
but what I learned, and I didn't mean to.
No, you're good.
No, I mean, I like the, there's a lot of good material here.
Yeah,
It would be nice to have it organized differently or to have a presentation, but the flow is fine, I mean, and.
yeah, and the material, I understand what you're saying, and I will do my best, but what I always hope that after the class, you guys, you have your own style of organizing things and things like that. You will go back to everything we've discussed and do your, learning yourself.
And I mean, just to. Probably because I've taught agency, this has been the most important document I've ever gone over with my clients, and every one of them. I have a flow of going over it, but it was nice to see, identifying. That this is the document without saying what kind of an agent we are, but to explain the different ones that we have.
Yeah, so we have learned quite a lot today, that's my belief. If not, we refreshed quite a lot, and we will definitely follow. And Zia, please, what's your feedback?
I liked your suggestions about how to present this document and ask for a signature. The one thing I didn't feel clear about was, let's say I'm a listing agent and then I bring the buyer, what form do I use to change my agency to dual?
I can answer that.
Yeah.
Because we had that conversation was, no, when you represent a buyer, you have a new agency disclosure with that buyer.
Yeah.
And you have the seller acknowledge that.
Okay.
Isn't, so this does not give me a line for the seller, but there is one for the
So seller acknowledges the.
Well, what we need to do is this, you represent the buyer, you get one agency from buyer. You represent the seller, you get an agency from the seller. The dual agency is confirmed in the purchase agreement, that's all we have to do. That's all we have.
There we
to do.
go,
Okay,
thank you.
but there used to be, this one used to have a line for the both
Yeah.
parties.
So I wish you all best of luck. Thank you all for coming today and spending time with me. I really enjoyed it. Thanks, Amelia, and I'm open to your questions and anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You did great.
Sorry for teasing.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.